Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Kira Katora, and welcome to our very first official Slay of the Season tournament smackdown spectacular, this time for Drag Race España All-Stars. And like I said before, I wanted my makeup today to be inspired by my favorite makeup look overall of the season, and that was Dragula's reunion look, her little Barbie moment with a really heavy blush. I loved it! So good. Wanted to evoke the doll herself for today. But I'm so excited to get into how this particular style of video is going to work because it is a little bit different from Very Slay. Now, for those who are familiar with Very Slay, who've been watching and keeping abreast of the situation, every episode I pick my favorite look of the week, my slay of the day, if you will. And those slay of the days have all been gathered together here and have been given by random assignment placements on a tournament bracket. Now, I'm going to be doing head-to-heads of every single look that was a slay of the day of mine to ultimately let them battle it out against each other to become the slay of the season, my favorite look across the entire batch of episodes. That look that takes that top honor, for me at least, I'm going to do a fun little illustration of, and I cannot wait. With all of that out of the way, if you haven't already liked, subscribed, got your comment at the ready, anything like that, do that now. I'd love to know what your favorite look across this season was because there were certainly some really good ones. Let's head over and take a look at this bracket. So here we have it, the official bracket for Drag Race España All-Stars Slay of the Season. Now, you should know how this works. It's pretty self-explanatory. Alrighty, in our first bout of the season, we have Dragula's Strauss look and Samantha Ballantyne's Martyrio look. I think both of these looks are really strong on their own and they're really great at executing the theme. Dragula's look has such an immediate wow factor to it. I love Erte illustrations. I love that kind of Art Deco vibe that this look has. I love all the chain work, the line work. I think this would be really fun to draw, and I can already see what I could do with it. I think Samantha's look is a dead-on accurate, like fantastic tribute to Martyrio and what she stood for in relation to women in Spanish society. But when I look at both of these looks against each other, Samantha's look can read a little dated compared to Dragula's. Dragula's, I think, has this really nice timeless quality to it that I really appreciate. And for that reason, Dragula's look is going to be the one that advances to the next round. In bout 2, we have Dragula's promo look versus Dragsethless's redemption look. Specifically the second part of it, after she's out of the werewolf. Now, I love Dragula's look. I loved this promo look so much, but I don't think there's really any comparison you could make between these two because Sethless's look is like, it's so freaking immaculate. All of the details are correct, the proportions are right, and I think this is really the look that, for me, set Sethless apart from a lot of Gran Canaria performers we've seen on the show, because while this look is very Gran Canaria, it's also very fashionable, very chic at the same time. For Dragula's look, I don't like the yellow tights of it. All of these bouts are going to come down to my personal preference, so if you like the other looks more, that's great, but it's not your video. Sethless advances. Next up, we have Onyx Unleashed's reunion look and Dragula's Heaven look from the ball episode. Oddly enough, half of the looks in this entire set are Dragula, and she's got one in every single bout. So at least she's not going up against herself at any point, yet at least. Let's get into Onyx's look here. I loved the denim. I loved the gender play in this. This was so cool. One of my favorite looks of the season by a long shot. It's one that I'm going to have in the back of my mind for years to come because it is that level of like immaculately done. There's some really cool line treatment with the way the horns spiral on the head on this piece and the different washes in the garment. Oh, I love it. And now when we compare this to Dragula's look, I love Dragula's look conceptually, and the concept is so strong and so fun. I love the basket corset dress with the little sandbags, the cloud print, the Lee Bowery direction of it all. I think it's a really strong look, really well put together, and just really well executed. But I much prefer the execution of Onyx's look, so for that reason, Onyx is going to be advancing into the next round. And in our final bout, we are bookending this one with episode 1 Slay of the Day, Dragula's entrance look, and the finale Slay of the Day from Poopy Poisson in her finale eleganza. I loved Poopy's look so much. This gold looks divine on her. It's the best look she's ever worn, and it's such a surprise to me because it's so far off of what we've seen from her in any episode across any season. The scale is right, the color is right on her, to die for, adore. Now, Jeriji's look, to me, she looks like she was pulled like straight out of like a Rembrandt piece and just like peeled off the painting and then like, you know, flicked into the third dimension and off she went. I love the butterfly detailing in this. The makeup is immaculate as always, but what I love about this is the color treatment in the garment. It's so gorgeous. And it's not normally colors I really like on their own, but together they work so well. It's very classic, it's very artsy, and that's kind of what her drag gives me. She gives me very like high society, highbrow performance, whether it's museum, opera, you know, very ostentatious in a way. So I love that look for that reason, and that's why it's going to be advancing to the next round over Poopy. Round 2, we're down to our semi-finalists for this little tournament. In our first bout of the second round, we have Jeriji Dirklee's Strass look against Drag Sethless's Day of the Beasts. Now, again, I love both of these looks so much. For me, this was the hardest one to decide in terms of like how strong the looks were against each other. I think it is the tightest individual race in this tournament. But that being said, I have loved Jeriji's look from the second I first saw it. It's so up my alley aesthetically. While Sethless's is as well, I think there's more that I could do as an illustrator in terms of putting a whole piece together off of Jeriji's look than I could with Sethless's. Jeriji is going to advance to the finals, and Sethless's race to be the slay of the season ends here. Now, we do have the potential for a Jeriji versus Jeriji finale, but I will say, Onyx really delivered this look. Again, I don't need to go over why, and I love it for so many reasons against Jeriji's look here in this entrance look. Her look is very classical, it's very elegant, it's very refined, and Onyx's look is very punk, it's very in your face, it's harsh and aggressive, and I love it for that reason. There's such an artistic quality to both of their work, truly two opposite ends of the spectrum in that regard. But when it comes down to preference, I like Onyx's look more, but Onyx is going to advance to the finals for me. And here we are at the finals, Jeriji versus Onyx, woman versus alien, and one of them is going to take home that title. I would argue that these two looks and Sethless's look that we talked about a little bit ago were my 3 favorite looks of the entire season. I thought they were all so incredible, and I would love to draw both of these. However, I really only have time to do one. Or unless someone out there wants to pay me to draw the runner-up, great, I'd be more than happy to. Our first ever slay of the season for anything on this channel, truly, but also for Drag Race España All-Stars is going to be I'm gonna let this drum roll go for a little bit. I think it builds suspense and it's quite fun. What the hell am I kidding? It's Jeriji. We all knew it was gonna be Jeriji from the second I saw this look. I said in the original video it was going to be incredibly difficult for anything to top that look. And by golly, was I correct. Nothing did. So I will be doing an illustration at some point of Jeriji's look. I honestly might base it off of her photos of the look because I love the lighting. I think that visual color palette juxtaposed against the candelabras being on and the kind of lights dancing across the metal tones and all the reflective qualities of this look, I think I could do something really cool with that. So we are going to do an illustration at some point, whether it's on stream, whether I might do something here on Instagram, I'm not quite sure, but there will be art coming of this at some point. So be sure to go ahead and follow me on socials, on Instagram in particular. That's where it will go up first to see that as it's coming. I will be posting updates as well in the community tab. And there we have it. Our first ever slay of the season video is officially done. So like I said before, if you haven't already liked, commented, subscribed, all of that, let me know what your slay of the season was. What was your favorite look across all of these episodes? I can't wait to see what we get out of Drag Race España Season 4. From what I've heard, there's a pretty strong cast, so I cannot wait to see what type of looks we'll be getting from the next season. And hopefully we won't have as much weird, bullshitty judging critique things like we've been having the last couple seasons. And as always, before I bid you adieu, be sure to go out there, stay kind, stay queer, and make sure that your day is very slay.